Check, check. That's working good. Looks like I see Abbott has joined the channel. I hope you're still might be there. You looks like you jumped on a few minutes before I started my broadcast. So hey, man, what's up? How's it going in Canada, man? Let's cover up the computer. There we go. All right, so I'm having a little bit of interesting things going on with my cameras. My the camera switch, I don't know, for some reason it's not, at least on my laptop, it's showing me both cameras, even though even though I hit the switch button to switch between the two. So I'm not sure. I'm still going to hit the buttons because I'm not sure what you're actually seeing. I think, you know what? I can find out really quick. We can just jump on to Twitch here and take a look at the darn thing. Yep, you are seeing both screens the same as I. Let's see what happens when I switch. Nothing. So I got some weird thing going on with the software. I'm still going to switch between because that's my norm. So, you know, when it's my face, I've got the one button pushed and we'll go from there. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Long way around to figuring things out, I guess. Howdy, my name's Dave. I'm a wood turner, and I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out I had a knack for it, and I fell in love with that. I really enjoy working with wood in the first place. But then I started teaching it and fell in love with that too. So I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner, because the secret sauce to all of this is practice. And the more practice you put in, the better turner you're going to be. The more, eventually you're going to get better, but you really also need to take into account that you need to get really proper instruction on how to use the tools. And wood turning is finesse, right? It really is mostly finesse. There are a bunch of really, really good turners out there that show proof to the pudding if you watch their videos. Hopefully I will be there myself someday. Anyway, I got there was a piece. Let's turn this camera down here. I know you can see it on this other camera here on this side. This piece of timber, but this is a piece of basswood, and I am. It's green or greenish. It's actually been sitting on the ground since what, April, during the ice storms that we had here in Michigan. So April of this year, it's been sitting. There was a big, huge 150-year-old basswood tree out in front of or out to the side of the beer gallery near Charlevoix. Now, the beer gallery and the Charlevoix Circle of Arts have gotten together and created this competition slash history or memorialization, I guess, of this iconic tree. And they have asked, they put it out there that they would like artists to use this timber in some artworks commemorating that tree. And you know, I don't know all the details yet myself. I was able to go up and talk to the owner of the gallery and pick up some of the timber. I need to still contact Charlevoix Circle of Arts myself. I'll do that probably in the morning. Anyway, I have a couple of pieces here, and I wanted to try, because I've never turned green basswood before. I've only turned seasoned basswood, and it's kind of a softer wood. It's definitely one of those that carvers like to use. You know, little figure carvers, stuff like that. Basswood is a big one. So anyway, I got this piece prepared. I wanted to turn it. It's got a branch sticking out of it. We'll see what. I'll try to add a couple of features. Like I said, I've never turned this green before. I've only ever turned it seasoned. So I left some different features on there because as this dries, I want to see what this wood actually does. I'm concerned I may have some possible ring checks here. I'm not positive yet. It just could be because some of these rings are thicker than the others at the chainsaw. Because the chainsaw just tore this timber up on the ends, on the end grain. So I want to, golly, excuse me. I want to, first of all, strip the bark off this because the bark is not being held on very tightly in a lot of spots. I just want to get it off there before it goes on the lathe, spins around, and throws stuff at me. So we'll skip the throw stuff at Dave part and go with cleaning this off first. But I'm also doing some inspection. So I see now, and I'm pretty sure you can see that little guy right there. That is a grub of some sort, a parasite to the tree. It is still aliveable, but not anymore. So I definitely now know that there is some insect damage to this tree. Whether that was before, during, I mean, the trees are ecosystems. These could have been, well, that was a fairly young dude. So I'm saying that I'm thinking that particular grub hasn't been in there very long. And it's very possible. I got some thicker wood, some thicker timber from the beer gallery, but I wanted to see, how cohesive it is, what kind of shape it's in. It's hard to tell when it's in log form. There's quite a few grubs on here. So there's a smorgasbord happening inside this guy. It's a pity. This bark is fairly thick. I wanted to try to see if I could do this bark on, but because the bark is just not sticking very well, it's just smarter not to play around with that. This is half of a log. The other half of the log had a protrusion, much like one I'm going, well, I'll just show it to you now. It had a protrusion like this. And this is the other piece I might get to. So what that is, I'm not sure. It looks like it could be burl, possibly starting a burl, because it doesn't look like a branch necessarily, although that part right there could be where the branch broke off. So I don't know what's underneath there, but I want to turn that. That's green too. And check that out. And what is that? I think this is cherry, or I think it's cherry. So got that waiting in the wings. And we'll see. This is just the first piece. This was, what was this? About a 8-inch? No, a little bit more than that. It was actually like a 9 or 10-inch log that I cut into chunks and then started trying to work out where. And in the other half of this particular log on this side, that was mostly not usable. There was a huge void and rot in that side. So this might have some of those issues on this side. I don't know, but there aren't any cavities on this side to collect any water. And on the other side, that rot was actually inside a cavity. So I'm not sure. This bark is just not going to stay on there. So I don't think we're going to find anything like that, but I'm not positive. Again, this is exploratory. I have not turned this stuff before. I mean, green anyway. And the fact that it's been sitting for a while before I really commit to trying to do something with wood that's not usable, I want to really take a look first. And the pieces that I picked, that I chose when I went out there, looked fairly good. Didn't look there wasn't a lot of rot, and there was a little bit on the other half of this, but I didn't know how far it went in, and I couldn't tell until I cut into it, and the rot, like this discoloration here on the timber, the rot was kind of like up above that a little bit in a cavity, and that cavity went pretty far. There was apparently another branch on that side of the tree that it just rotted out, so did not feel comfortable turning that. And I'm kind of curious to see, because this is a softer wood, but it's not like willow soft. And willow, I just did not have a lot of luck. Well, I mean, I was also a new turner when I tried turning willow. And I tried turning it green and did not have, I just couldn't hold on to it. I was using a spur drive, and all it did was bore itself into the log every time the tool stopped the piece from turning, and the wood was just so soft that it would wobble. So what I wound up doing was taking a couple pieces and letting them season for about a year, and I was able to turn it that way. But it's still really, really soft stuff. But again, I'd be curious. I might actually. I'm kind of curious. I should probably take a look at willow again. That was early on in my turning journey, and things have changed since then. I hope I didn't unplug anything. Let's see, because I just lost the log. And this is kind of the slow part. It's when you're cleaning stuff off, I need to have solid wood here on this side to get onto with the live center. So I'm being really careful to get all the cambium at least off in this area. But, if I can get more off than that, that's always a bonus. So, and I don't know if anybody, I like doing things this way, not having things like necessarily prepped and ready for, not all the time, because you get a better understanding of what it takes to even get to, usable timber in the first place, to find out if you can turn it, should turn it, is it safe to turn, is it smart, all those things. And I can't say I necessarily followed the is it smart or not, but I tend to be a little bit more, I guess, discerning on the wood I'm going to use. So we'll see. This seems to be very solid. I don't see any, well, there's a soft spot there, but that's looks like that was probably an old branch, so hopefully that won't. It's going to be muted a little bit here because of the cambium. But that all sounds fairly, except for that spot right there, which is really, really wet. Oh, yeah, it was a branch. A small one. So that's kind of punky. Anyway, we'll see how this guy turns, eh? Because we're all set now. Let's see, I need my live and my drive centers. And I see I have left some bark on the floor here, and I don't want to trip myself up or turn an ankle. There we go, get that cleaned up. Let's see, we'll go with the longer tool rest for right now. So I knew basswood grew here, but I didn't realize how large it got. This tree was humongous. I just played around with the smaller. That might be a little dumb. Well, that's okay. I can back it off. I say smaller, less than 2 feet around or across, less than 2 feet of diameter branches. But there were several and more that were much larger than that. So I'm going to do what I always do, and that's go for the balance point. I'm expecting that to be a little heavy there. You know what I could do, though, and I probably should do, and I will do, is take care of that guy. So I'm going to grab 2 tools really quick, because I finally have one of these again. Well, hopefully this one will last longer than the other one did. And I need that board. There we go. Come on. So the first thing is a battery-operated chainsaw. I had an electric one. It only lasted a few months. It's just kind of a drag. And I never replaced it. Set this down here. Let's do this the smart way. There we go. So, got this nail board. I made this when I first started turning to elevate and have very little contact on the bottoms of all the pieces that I'd finished. But I started finding at first I had to file all the points down so they weren't super sharp, because they would leave divots in the piece, and then inspecting the piece, whatever, you had to be really, really careful so that you didn't put divots in the piece while it was drying. But barring all that, it worked out really well. Just have to pay attention and be careful. Cut that dude off, and we'll go put this away. So that made fast work of that. So this will be really nice, during the snowier days. I don't have to worry about trying to cut timber in the snow. Hey, sorry I stepped away and didn't hear what they said here. So we got Kingsley. Hey man, how you doing? How's streaming going? So far not bad. Just started up. Got that in place. How's your day going, man? Good deal.
0127 said, "That's great."
Let me skip back a little bit in chat because I'm not sure if you were the only one that. Yep, so far you're the only one that's put anything in chat. Making sure I didn't miss any questions there. Cover up the computer again. All right, so now back to this. Oh, you're looking at it, man. This is it right here. It's all been all right. It's all been all right. I could get closer. Let's find the balance point. Okay, so that's not it. I'll bring this side up about 1/4 of an inch, see what happens. Back it off a little bit. There it is. So now I'll bring up this side up about 1/4 of an inch. See what happens there. Come on. Wow, I found a balance point that fast. I don't know that I believe that. Yeah, it's really close. All right, let's bring this guy up a little bit then. Call that. Easy there, killer. Call that the balance point. Yeah, man. Hey, I wanted to say appreciate that you spent the time explaining some of the things you did. Oh, no, I haven't been near the phone for a little bit. And actually, I didn't even. No, I went to Twitch. I didn't go to Instagram. And I didn't see if I had any notifications. But hey, I do want to say thanks for taking the time to explain some of those things. And at some point, that's on my list, man. I know I need to learn more about marketing and all the other stuff, but I also need kind of figure I really need to know how to maintain whatever website I get. I mean, I have a website and I've learned how to maintain that one more or less. Okay, that clears. That clears. I'd love to be able to pay a marketer for that. And at some point, when I figure out those finances, I probably will.
Let's talk about that when you're done streaming.
And oops, I need a little more light. There we go. Ooh, that's throwing water. There we go. It's cutting real easy. Okay, so that branch, that doesn't look like it's really rotted in there. We gotta worry about that guy though. This is punky, but that's the outside of the tree. We're still not sure about this guy, but I'm hoping that it's because the chainsaw chewed that up and that's not actually going to become ring checks. Oh, no, no, no. So there's some punkiness here and there, and there's another branchlet that was coming out. So that's what that. Oh no, that was that original branch, wasn't it? Never mind. So that was that lump of the branch that was coming out. Hey, and now I can switch to shorter tool rest. This dude is throwing off all kinds of water.
Can pop up.
So our chat can pop up. Hey, Groovy. Not on my phone, but I'm working off a laptop right now. Woo, that's a lot of water. Oh, I don't think you can see it, but it's pretty much just soup right in there. It's looking good. I think that is just the chainsaw tearing up the end grain. So that's looking like it's not going to be ring checks. That's a good thing. So it is pretty soft. Although, like I say, I was kind of expecting to be at least a little soft because it's green. But I'm going to say, I don't know, man. It seems like that's end grain though. Let's try this. I'm going to say that that's not fair there. That is actually a lot of that figure of that branch and the curly wood. This is a little bit harder than pine, maybe. I can't remember what it was like. Honestly, because I know it was really soft and it was the seasoned wood. It was hard to sand. But again, I was a beginning turner. Who knows what? I wasn't doing the best way. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to check out this gallery show slash competition slash memorialization was to see could I actually turn this stuff. I haven't touched basswood. Man. Well, what, 2016 maybe? 2016 maybe? I don't know. I'd have to go look at the bowls that I turned. But okay, so we do have some spalting going on there. That's still soft and punky. That may be a void in the bowl, but this is going to be a bowl. So let's take it down some more. I want to get rid of all of this stuff because it's really soft. Still a little bit of punky there, but that's almost gone. Let's see if that's punky. No, that's a bark inclusion, but that's actually pretty solid. This almost looks like a split. Like it almost looks like a ring check, but it's spalting, that's kind of interesting. And that is really solid, except for this little bit right here. So I might have, I don't know. Let's finish taking this stuff off. I'm just hitting it with my fingernail and it's peeling right off. So I think that's a little bit too wet to leave around there. So that was more of an advanced cut. I went from unsupported to supported cut. Coming around this corner, let's get rid of this nonsense too. There's a lot of punkiness on the upper part of this. Where that branch came out of the side of the tree there. Okay, that's solid. That's solid enough. It might be okay. Huh, there's another grub in there. Let's see, where is that one tool? That's not it. There it is. So there's a grub right in there. Sorry, dude, you must go. Never to infest a tree again. Okay, so that goes in a little ways, but I don't know again if it's, I mean, I'm not, it feels a little bit punky in a couple of spots there. A little softer. But, I mean, this is not terrible. Like I said, it's been laying on the ground. The bark was intact for the most part. On the other side, let's see, there was a big break in the bark on the other side, which I don't know if it was a chainsaw issue or whatever, that somebody started to cut and then decided against it. I don't know. Or the, you know, it hit something that gouged the bark when the tree just fell out. It had 5 huge branches that just went in all different directions apparently, and saw pictures of it from before when it fell. And it was, I mean, it dwarfed people. Even being out there, this is a huge tree. So I think it will be cool to see. I know what I need. What all of the makers / artists, whatever, do with the timber. There's nice lead time. Oh, I gotta fix that. Got a hump in there. I'm going to take this to the grinder really quick, but I need to hit the piece with my spindle, spindle gouge. But let me dress this tool up a little. Nice and sharp, but I just realized there's a little bit of a hump there. And I really like the ends to be straight most of the time. Yeah, I really got to bring that down. Make sure there's no hump in that side. A little hump, you know, sometimes is really helpful to get like a super shear scrape. But like I said, I prefer my wings to be straight. Okay, we're almost there. Even though they are swept back. Alright, we should take a little haircut. Oops. Starting there. Okay. Alright. That will do. Pretty sure. Oops. Nope. Turn the light off. There we go. Kind of chilly this evening. It's in the mid-20s. Do believe outside. Alright, let's see. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, back to it. Let's see. I want to double check now because I'm going to use the chuck to hold on to this. I want there to be solid wood. So there's mostly solid wood, a little bit of an issue like right here. So I'm still gonna set this up for a chuck hold. Let's see how that works out. I probably shouldn't have done that yet. All right. Now, how do I want to do this? Let's see. I think that is a pretty good solid size for the foot. No, not that guy. I'm going to take that all the way off. Let's put this guy back in there. And we'll start over with a new center. Especially since this is cross grain in this particular alignment, it's really weak. It won't take much to just snap it off like that. I didn't cut very deep into it. Oh, you know what? The chisel would be a smarter choice. And I put it away. I probably shouldn't have. Get my center finder here. Pencil. Hey, it takes pencil marks pretty well. Some woods don't when they're green. Some woods don't when they're seasoned.
3_0127.
There we go.
Kindly drop me a message on IG when you're done streaming.
I'm not. I don't know if I'll be able to do that tonight, man. I'll do my best. Okay, that's done. So we'll leave the center finder here just for the last one. And now let's finish. I just bumped that camera with my big noggin again. There, let's try that. You know, I could shift the camera over some, but all right. Make sure it's secure. And let's do something with this shape. Ooh, I like that already. So yeah, no ring check, although I don't know what that is. Doesn't look like it's anything, but in any case, I'm going to be cutting into the face of this anyway, just in case that that right there is a ring check. But that'll be on the very outside, and then that'll be taken off anyhow. Curious to see what this stain is like too, because the basswood maker before was kind of, plain in appearance, but there was some time for spalting clearly, because there's some spalting here, and then a little bit of figure from the branch it was coming out of here. So there's a little bit going on. There's a little bit of spalting in that. I think that is just about the shape that I'm after. Ooh, now I have to decide. Do I want this to be a round bottom bowl? Because I don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, which reminds me, since I have a new center, I also need to clean this up. Just to make sure it runs true when it's in the chuck. Let's see, I think I'll take this down just a little bit more. And I'm going to give it a very small fit, I think. And not a round back. But I also look at the water just coming out of the end grain, and I'm just touching the surface. I'm not making it now. I'm making a cut, but I think I want the rim to curve in just a bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Ooh, man, that is so wet. It's not shear scraping. It's not scraping at all. which means it's really soft in this area. Just pumping out water. Wow, a lot of water. Okay, so things are going to change really rapidly when I hollow this thing out and then blow the water out on the side. I need to make that foot smaller. So I will when I've got it reversed. I'll make a jam chuck, reverse it. So I can clean that foot off. But let's see. Actually, I can take that down too now. So that should get rid of almost, well, no, it's still going to have that little, but almost all the punkiness is gone, or it's really soft wood. I don't think that can be a bad thing. Could be wrong. So no reason to jam your tool into the workpiece, especially working with softer material like this. That's going to be way too wet to do any kind of sanding on right now. Let me see what I can do with shear scraping with this guy. I'll keep cleaning the slurry out of it. It won't cut. It's going to be interesting to hollow, I think. We'll see how it goes. And shear scraping is always a light touch. You don't need to really jam your tool into it. Yeah, that's actually not too shabby. I'm going to do a little bit more work right there. Wrong tool. We're just taking off the high points. It's a very, very light touch. I think I still need to do a little bit right there. just a sludge slurry. Okay, that's pretty good. Still a bit going on there, but I'm just gonna, can't get it any better. It's just so wet, and actually that's a little soft. And I'm leaving. I'm leaving prints on it. Okay, time for a little chuck action. So we got some nice, cool looking figure happening there. A little bit of spalting. Let's see what happens. A little bit of spalting there. That's probably going to disappear. I might wind up cutting away all the spalting, actually, which is a bummer, but that's where it goes. Trying to get the, not necessarily, not trying to get like the biggest piece. I'm just trying to get the best piece out of the timber that I can get. And if that means that the piece I start with becomes a lot smaller, well, that's just the way it goes. Okay, I made that a dovetail, so we'll go with this guy. Which means I need this key right here. It's almost open enough to put that tenon in there right away. All right, this is green, so I definitely want to try. To make sure that's really seating firmly against the face of the jaws. I've got a 90 degree, it's a flat. What's sitting on the jaws is flat, 90 degree cut. Okay, so I don't need this guy now. And I do want to do something about this. Elbow poker guy. All right, I'm going to mute the microphone for a sec. Forgot to put that into chat. There. Anyway, I don't know that I'll have time to chat, but I will check out the message, see if I can send you a message if I got time. Now, it'll be late if it happens later than when it happens. I don't know that I'll get to it right. Actually, I'm pretty sure I can't right after the stream. All right, so slightly curved in. See, I've got something happening there, which I'm betting has to do with that branch. There's a pith right there. You can hear when it starts hitting that harder wood in there from that branch. Nice shavings though. Let's get those off of there. Wet shavings add weight. And weight unplugs things sometimes. So we're getting a lot more in there. I don't know. This might be a pretty cool looking little dude when it's done. See about getting that surface cleaned up. Just a little bit of punkiness right there. And a little bit right there. So I'm going to take it easy with this. Not tear that stuff out, hopefully. And then when it dries, because it's really, really finely grained, then maybe it'll dry hard, as hard as the rest of the timber. Okay. Close, but not quite even. Sneaking suspicion that I'm a little high with my tool rest. Okay, so now we see that. That is a hole. Something has either popped out of there or been chewed out of there. There's no corresponding hole on this side unless this little feature right there is the exit point. It's possible. It goes in the right direction. And that was a very small branch. So that would have been more than one, actually, because you can see the pith of that small one. That one is torn out. And there's another pith right there. I don't know how thin I can get away with making this, so... We're gonna find out. So I'm gonna actually use calipers on this guy. I want to see how thin I can... Well, I mean, I don't want to get paper thin, but I want to get a fairly thin wall. I want to see... It's another thing I want to check out with the basswood is like when it dries, how strong it's going to be. I mean, even dry, I mean, they use it for figure carving and stuff like that, so... Clearly it will take an edge pretty well. I think I'll take it down a little bit thinner. It's mostly turning really, well, maybe not, because I've got a little bit of really fine fuzzing out there, and the same on this end grain. I've got an even wall thickness though, but I do have this guy. So let's go in a little bit more, and then I'm going to take my negative rake scraper and see. It's flexing a little bit. I'm going to leave it that thick right there. Take my magic depth finder. Yeah, I got a ways to go. A little more tear out down in this area where it's really wet. Okay. Although I'm starting to kind of remember that, like, the end grain of basswood was kind of like this, and it took like quite a while to sand because it was so soft that I had to be careful like how I was sanding it is what I want to remember, but that don't make it so. Right. I think I'm really close to my final depth here. Yeah, I'm close. That's what I forgot to do. Raise that up something. That's a little too high. Doggone it, I did it again. There we go. Huh. I may need to touch up the burr already. Wow. There we go. Everything is even wall thickness. I'm going to touch up the burr and then try to get a little bit more of a shear cut on this. Okay. Lights. Action. That's about even. Alrighty. Nice and even, but got some tool marks in there. I want to try to get rid of here. Let's see. Hasn't chewed the burr up all the way yet. I'm not going to get that. And everything else is got a nice even wall thickness. Let's see if I cleaned up how I cleaned that bottom up. It's not bad, but definitely need a little bit of sanding. That's all right. Okay, so that is the bowl. Going to reverse it, finish off the foot. And we'll set it aside and let it dry. Hopefully that darker colored stuff, it's harder. It's dead wood, so hopefully as this thing dries, with this part, I'm pretty sure this harder stuff is already fairly dry. I won't tear it apart, but we'll see. So that there tells me what I needed to know, and that is, do I have some timber here that I can turn? And the answer is yes. hopefully that carries through on the rest of it. I tried to be careful in my choices, but it's a naturally growing. I mean, it's another life form, right? You're using its skeleton. Doggone it, what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, this guy. And every single one is different. Every single tree is different. They all have a different voice. Is that the right side? Ooh, it is. Cool. Don't want to lose that. Is this actually going to work? No. So, what I'm going to have to do then is will that work? Not so much. Alright, I have to. I'm going to use a smaller, not this guy. This one's actually not quite big enough, but let's see. We'll go with this guy. Oh, yeah. No, wait. Yeah, we'll go with that guy, I think. See how it fits in the bottom. And our other choices are not. Oh, that guy might work. Yep, that's the one right there. Slightly differently contoured. A couple of different jam chucks, slightly differently contoured, and this one just happens to match the bowl. So get rid of that. There's the leather. This will be, well, I could use that one, but so let's do that. I think this will work. This might be. I might have to change to, yep, I thought so. I'll change to, I'll have to use the smaller chuck. So that the rim of the bowl will go over that. And a different key. Oh, you're going to be that way. All right, I guess I need to shave that down, don't I? For it to work in this chuck. Which will be okay. Why am I closing the chuck? Okay, what are the other choices here? Doggone it. Not that one. It's not tall enough. Well, I guess I'm going with this guy. I didn't want to, but I will just give it a little extra care. Well, I'm going to have to do that anyway. It's basswood. I don't know how easy it will be to mark up. Hopefully not terribly so. Okay, you can go back there. Yeah, I guess I need this guy. Okay. Nope, still need that. Look at that. That's awesome. Definitely running true. All right, get that guy out of there. So that is a little thicker than the rim, so let's get it down a little bit. Make the foot a little bit more concave, but I don't have to go too far. That's already pretty close to what I want.
Say, sheet view combining asterisk below, E combining diaresis below, amazonstreamboo.com remove the space.
Thank you, spam chat bot, for reminding me that there are spam bots out there trying to sell those things. I will not have much to sand there. So that's pretty awesome. I really like using the flush cut saws when I'm turning because I bend the blade to get around things that I don't want get marked up. In this case, the bottom of that foot. Okay, no mark on the inside. So there we have a finished basswood bowl with a void. Possibly two if this stuff breaks out. We'll see what happens as it dries. It's a nice shape, slightly curved inward. Let's see, get that against the black. Slightly curved inward. It's nice in the hand, and the foot isn't overly large. Very cool. All right, let's set that guy inside on the drying rack. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That reminds me. Yeah, let's take a look at this piece of box elder that I turned last week. It's finally dry. It's been sitting there for a week on the drying rack. Let's take a look at this guy. Okay, so as I expected, that bark inclusion was going to open up a little bit. It still looks really, if I can get this in the camera view, it still looks really clean in there. Except for that, see if I can get it in the camera. That bark, well, it doesn't really show up really well. I can kind of see the bark at the very bottom there. Yeah, I won't be able to, well, I'll be able to buff this and hopefully bring out that stuff, but I'll have to be really careful on this guy. Doable. So that's a very, very nice little hollow form out of that crotchwood. This went not quite oval, almost a three-sided oval. But I had, we had different branches coming out of that crotchwood. Ah, cool. That's turned out pretty nice. I didn't know if it would survive. It's a pity that feature right there is on the bottom, but it's also not something that we knew was going to be there until we got into the wood. It was hidden under the surface. Okay. Let's see about this guy. Let's get this off of here. Oops, I gotta fix that. Oh, and I need to monitor the level there. Oh, not bad. All right, very cool. All right, let's get this guy off here. Move this guy aside. And get those pliers back over here where I can get to them. Okay.
K14 said,
Hey, how you doing, man? Glad you could make it, man. How's your day gone so far? Hey, remind me, I can't remember where you told me you're actually at in the world. If you did, you may not have. I don't know. I don't recall. I'm curious where you're watching from. All right, so got this nice piece of cherry. I'd like to make this the entry for my hollow form. I want to turn this into a hollow form. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this bark here where I can get my centers on actual timber. And I'm going to give myself a fairly decent sized area because I'm going to start on the balance point. I want to be able to move it around. Now this was from Buckley, I think it was Buckley, Michigan. If Joe J was watching, then Michigan Viking. If he was watching, he could remind me or correct me if I'm incorrect. But I think it was Buckley. This looked like it might be a really nice usable piece. So hopefully, because this tree also was down for a little while. I don't recall if Joe told me how long, I don't know if it was a victim of the ice storms. Actually, it could have been. But I don't know if Buckley got hit. I'll have to look into that. I don't know that Buckley actually got hit with ice storms. I don't know. There's a lot in the UP, apparently. And a lot in other spots, like on the peninsula here. A little bit north or northeast of town. Sort of, kind of. All right. Might as well take that off since it's loose. Instead of having it fly off. Let's see, just in case, I'll take a little bit more off here. I don't think I need to travel that far, but hey, since I'm taking bark off, I might as well take off whatever's loose. Okay. Now let's look at the other side here. Just all part of getting things, squared away and situated so you can have a safe turning experience. I want my points of my centers to be in solid wood, not any kind of cambium, spongy stuff. Ooh, that's coming off real easy. So now's the time to take it off. So let's see, I'm hoping I'm wrong and that this is like a burl nodule instead of a branch remnant. We'll see though. Oh, that felt like end grain. Or maybe not. Can't quite tell yet, but this might be burlwood. That would look pretty cool on the neck of a hollow form. So this is taking a little bit more time than I normally would, but I'm suspicious that there might be some really good figured wood in here. So I'm trying to be careful taking the bark off. If I can see end grain of where like a branch came through, but I'm not seeing that. It could be right in here, but I don't think so. I think this is just a growth on the tree that I'm hoping is burlwood. So that should be good enough. Let's see, where do I want that to go? Let's take a look at this. little more detail. Okay. Oh, that should come off. Not seeing any critters with this one. Yeah, that bark. Don't want it flying off. But this, oh, yep, there's some, what looks like possible beetle damage in there, so be aware that there's probably critters underneath this bark. Haven't found any live ones yet. Or it could just be fungus, really. Okay, so if I look at it this way, I want to go where it would be easiest to have the neck made. No, you know, having a natural edge rim on this holophone might be okay. So let's go like somewhere in there. Be a little bit lower. So I could go there. No, I'm going to go right there. Probably. Oh, you know what? Let me get a different tool. This chisel's a little too wide of a straight blade for this particular job. I'm just trying to make sure this is not a branch. And it could be one that healed over, right? But it's not one that came out. This is all capped over. So I'm hoping I really am hoping that's burlwood. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's definitely going to have some figure in it. So I'm going to set it there. And we're going to find the balance point. And with this, I'm going to be working basically just one side because that's where I want the neck to be. Or do I? So that should be really close. Or not. Let's take this up a little bit. I did not move that much. Well, that went right back into the same hole. Let's try that. Alright, so I think actually I want to move this over to here. Something like that. Is that too far? It's a little too far. Let's put it right there. Alright, so that's going to be my center for that side. Let's see what we get here. Oh, yep, I did guess I get down too low. Too far that time. Oh, you're just going to be a pain. Okay, so there we are. And everything clears away, so that's a bonus. I didn't think that would clear, but it will when it's round. Let's see, that's, I think, is the first thing I'm going to address, is to take that off. Wrong tool. In fact, I need to clear the lathe of anything that might bounce off during any vibration. You're not going to get past that, all right? How about now? Yes. All right, now let's make sure it's secure. It was pretty easy. Okay. That should be okay. So we are at the, oh, that's actually 800. Let's see what happens. Very close to the balance point, clearly. Okay. Now we can do this. That's going to clear. That's definitely going to clear. Oh. Now I can slide my banjo under there. That's the closest guy. Clear, 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 clear. So, lots of issues here. Definitely got a void right there. We'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. Really nice color though. Got some punkiness and a lot of broken stuff in here. Hopefully this is a piece that will survive. Don't know that it will. But I guess you can say that about all of the pieces, right? We don't know. It would be nice to be able to use a skew for this, but since this is not in spindle orientation, yeah, a lot of dirt in there. Let's see if I can clean that out. So I don't know what's going to wind up in there, but I'm still hoping that it's going to be some burl wood. This is problematic. Any splits and checks here are gone almost. So at least this side is okay. I'm going to take another pass, maybe two. See if I need to shift this piece one direction or another. Clear. Oh man, that might go a lot deeper than I want it to. Anything that's loose that wants to come off, I'm just taking off with my fingers. Cherry smelling kind of funky. Maybe we'll get rid of that. I don't know, but there's a big void there, which is okay. If it shows up in the hollow form, that's not a problem. Got some pith stuff happening there. So, I don't know, man. Hopefully this... got a really nice color. That might go. Might go too deep. Let's see. Well, the hollow form isn't going to be this tall. So let's see if I can do something about. Okay, so it looks like it might go in another 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to actually cut that, and let's see if that's right. Clean out some more of this dirt. Okay, so just got a little bit happening here with that pith. So there's 2 piths here. And 1 here. It looks like I'm like really close. Well, I think that is pretty close to like as far down as I want to go in diameter. So I'm going to bring the bottom up and see what, if anything, I can do about that. I mean, it looks like at least this one stops really close to the surface. These are. All right, let's go this way. Still goes in there pretty deep. So it looks like that's going to be part of the hollow form, which is okay. That's all right. let's get set up for a chuck hold here. At least at this point, it's fairly small. We'll see what happens as we get further in. There's going to be a void on that side. So hopefully, as I get closer to the actual final shape, all of that splitting will go away, and most of this. Not that there's a whole lot going on here, but there's a little bit, plus a little bit of a bark inclusion on top of that pith. I think that's probably a really good spot. Whoops, I guess I need to move some shavings a little bit. Making a bunch of shavings today. So that's going to take the larger jaws, which is okay. I think actually what I will do is make it a little bit longer tenon. Okay, so and whatever I don't finish this evening, I will certainly finish tomorrow. Alright, time for sharp tool. The hope is still there, right? It's got lovely color. Definitely got some spalting going on. There's going to be some figuring error. Whatever that was is now a void. We'll see once we get up into this guy. Once I start shaping the neck and all that. So I'm going to grab the Vic mark. I'm going to have to change the jaws on it. Get the larger jaws in here. And yeah, so that actually works out. That's a nice shape. I wonder how much of that I can leave as. Ooh, I wonder how much of that I can leave as natural edge. The design possibilities are starting to surface. Oh, thought I had loosened that. I did. Okay. Let's see. I don't need. Do I need? Yes, I do need. For a little while, I need the live center. Let's grab this guy. Sharp tool. Clean those off. Put that guy over here to be sharpened. And then I need to get the larger jaws for this chuck. That basswood spit a lot of water out. Not that that's an unusual thing. I mean, it was wetter than I expected, since it had been on the ground for, well, since April. So 7 months. That's not too terrible, I guess. But at least it wasn't like totally rotted. I was hoping that, and there was some pretty rotten wood there, but I didn't go thrumming through that because I don't want to deal with it. Get some really nice and really pretty spalted, I mean, it'll be punky wood. You can sometimes find the spalting has gone like nuclear on some pieces, but it's that kind of stuff that you need, like that cactus juice. Really thin viscosity resin that can get in there and bind all that together. Actually, I've got a piece. Yeah, I'll show that here in a sec when I get this jaws all set. I've got a piece of it. I traded one of our fellow turners in the club half of this post that I had found. It was I want to say it was a 4-inch square post, but and maple, but I mean, just the spalting through it, it was just shot through with all kinds of really cool crazed lines and all that, but it was really, it's like it was not safe to turn. And he had the vacuum system and all that to do cactus juice. He did a lot of that. He was a pin turner. Mostly, he did a lot of other things too, but mostly pin turner. And so he stabilized a lot of stuff for pins with that cactus juice. It was well worth the trade. I'll pull that piece out here in just a second when I put these jaws into their little home there. Should be right on top. Yep, there it is. So I think this camera might be better. But it was just shot through with, and it was a 4-inch post. But I mean, the outside was broken away, and you can see the little pits and stuff that the cactus juice couldn't fill, all these little voids. But it's a good solid chunk now. The only thing I don't like about cactus juice or doing stuff like that is like when you turn this stuff and it just turns to dust, a super fine plastic wood dust. You don't get shavings from it, and it just and you don't want to breathe it either. When I turn it, I wear a mask because it just is a super fine dust, which is another reason why I still have that one piece. I haven't wanted to turn it because of the amount of dust. Oh, don't tell me this isn't going to do, because if this is between sizes, and it looks like it might be. Oh, then I'll have to make an adjustment. Why, yes, it is between sizes. How lovely is that? All right, so what I will do then is I will make my tenon out here. So back to being happy that I did not put my center finder away yet. So we'll remount this dude, and I'll make the tenon further up where it's wider. I've threatened myself with making jigs that I can fit over tenons and stuff that'll tell me, what jaws will work with what. But I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit more hassle than it's worth. All right, step aside, my friend. For a few moments. Let's get that guy also out of the way. All right. All right. So I don't know how true this is going to run, but it doesn't need to be perfect because we just got it roughed out anyway. Huh, look at that. Okay. And just to make sure it's not going to bottom out, okay. Set this up again. How are we doing on time? 10 o'clock. Well, I should be able to get at least the outside finished. Or rather, well shaped. Let's see what happens. Got an hour to go. kidding. Still bottoming out, so I'm going to cut that little bitty nub off there. Apply some liberal force. Seat that up against the jaws. Get a lot more force out of that tailstock than I can just pushing against it myself. A lot more mechanical force. And hey, I think I can get back to this guy. Alright, let's give this a little bit. See what we can do about this shape. Let's see, let's put that key away. Still doesn't look like a branch to me, but we'll see as we sneak up on this. You know, let's get rid of this bark. Where's that chisel? Oopsie daisy, we're throwing things off the tool bench. Except we don't know where it went. Quite honestly, not even sure. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Cambium layer is really, really wet. Which means this dude was sitting on the ground for a little while. If I didn't already know that, I could probably deduce that from this. Tactile information. Let's see here. Almost might have been better to go there for the rim, but I think this is still a better choice. See what that shows us, if anything. I still can't quite tell if that's burl wood or not. Let's see. I want to go. That direction. Yeah. I think we can get a really nice rim out of that. Okay. So this is when it's dry. This is what it's going to look like with finish on it. Nice. Well, that's a bummer. Let's see. I'm toying with the idea of reversing this piece and putting the neck of it up here, because all this figured wood would be like a bib for it. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me take this down a little bit, because I think I might be getting lucky there. As far as that checking, wrong side. Yeah, no, not so much. I don't know, it might go away, but right now I'm liking this shape, so we'll play around with it. I want to. Wow, man. Not quite sure what I want to do with this thing yet. If I give this thing a foot and then a lid, I mean, that's that checking and cracking there. This is pretty much, there's a little bit, but it's pretty much gone. Sorry, one moment. Oh, pardon me there, I had to sneeze. And it would make everything else more visible. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this guy around. Okay, so I need to get to just, I don't know, man. All right, hold on. I mean, that looks cool. But if I actually have, I don't know that I do have burl up there, but I might. I got all this crazy stuff going on, but that's figure from whatever this was. And then all this crazy figure going on, which isn't related or doesn't appear to be. So I mean, it's possible getting some really funky color right in there and right in there. And I'd really rather the burl was on top, if that's burl. Let's see. Ooh, man, this is smelling interesting. Okay, so it's not really burlwood, but it's a lot of figure. So what I'm going to do is create a foot here on the bottom. It really now does not looks like there's a branch that went through somewhere, probably this way, from that pith. And then that branch may be the one that comes out here. I'm not sure where that guy goes unless he goes this way. Out here. Not sure where that guy goes. So yeah, I'm going to make the foot right here. I might, maybe be able to get away with having these as a feature. But you'd only be able to see them right at the bottom. Be nice if they're better balanced, but they're not, and that's okay. Oh, I know what I can do though. Let's do. Nope, not that guy. Nope. I'll take you and you. I've been known to put a wire wheel in a chuck and then holding the piece up to the wire wheel. Let the lathe do all that work. I think I can get rid of a little more of that before I take the brush to it. Okay. Let's work on. The shape a little bit. then just keep refining this, dude. So I think I'm gonna, let's see, we're looking at 10:30. So yeah, I'm going to actually, we'll get this ready to hollow, and I'll hollow it tomorrow night. I'm gonna have to use a hollowing system to get down in there. But this, all this red figure will be a bib for the outside and top of this vessel. So I think that's gonna look really cool. It's a bummer that that's not burl wood, but there is some nice color and stuff, but it's just not. I don't know that it's enough to make it the feature, the center point of the piece. But that might, I can almost see a covered jar out of this. Well, decision has to be made. Somebody make it. Yeah, it's definitely not burl wood. It's just figured from all these little branches. So, win some, you lose some. That's okay. I need to get this set up for the chuck. Okay, let's see. I think. That's the shape I'm after. So just a very light touch. I'm scraping. It's a very, very light touch. I'm just taking the high points off. Now I'm shear scraping. Keep going in the direction of that grain support for this cut. So those little shavings right there. These really super fine shavings. That's what I'm pulling off of here with a very, very light touch. Don't need to be heavy-handed because then I might start introducing tool marks. And I'm trying to clean the tool marks up. Yes, it looks very nice. Ready for sanding. Once it's dry enough, we're going to check that out right now. Actually, I could move these wire brushes out of the way. That might be helpful. And I'm going to shut off the microphone for a sec while I blow my nose again. And I'm going to be nosy. Let's do that. So, I'm Big Daddy's dad has joined the channel. Howdy, I'm Big Daddy's dad. TC Schmo is on the channel. Howdy, howdy. Paranoid Squatch, how you doing? Abaddus, of course. Wiley Smiley Kylie, howdy. Sora Sophie Josie has joined the channel. Very cool. Try Ray Ray. Hey, man, I didn't see you slip in. How's it going? Conducive Accord Hub P has joined the channel. Thank you very much. And I'm lost _2 has joined the channel. Well, howdy, I'm lost. I think hopefully you're not lost anymore. How's it going? All right. You know, I'm curious now if this is actually going to work. Nope. It's not switching camera views. It's, I don't know, something to do with the software. Let's see. I was going to, yes, sand this. Or at least attempt it. There's my Grex. There's that. And I don't need to do this under power. But I am going to wear a mask. Oops. Assuming, of course, that I don't have anything else sticking to the Velcro straps of the mask. All right. Okie dokie. Quite dusty. Definitely dry enough to sand. Oh man, I'm gonna buff this piece. Clearly, it's got so much figure in it, just all over the place. Yeah, this dude's gonna get buffed. Okay. So let's see about. That's the only thing that worries me. Is that split came all the way up to the all the way up to the rim of the piece. And there's really no way to save that other than letting it dry and filling it in later. Alright, let's see what I can do about that. Okay, I think I take the mask off now. Not going to be sanding. I'm going to have to get to other jaws. Let's take this away. Where's my number 4? That's 2. So I'm going to mark it right there. When I mark my jaws, I pick 1 and then whatever's next to it. On my other jaws, it's 1 and 2 that are next to each other. On this jaw, or in this chuck, it's 1 and 4 that are next to each other that have where the tightening down point is at. On the other chucks, it's between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and on this one, it's between 1 and 4 and 2 and 3. Really good solid wood up in here. This is the only thing that bugs me, is all that checking around that pith. But I'm gonna keep running with it. I'm going to change the jaws again and finish this shape, and then I'm going to sand it and cover it for the evening. Let's get rid of that. So it doesn't dry out too much. Although once the outside is done, as long as it doesn't move a ton, it'll be okay. But that's why I want to wrap it overnight. It's chilly. So that should significantly slow down the drying process. And I won't have any real crazy surprises when I come to hollow this dude tomorrow night. I would much rather use my spindle gouge, but this is a taller hollow form, and my spindle gouge is not going to reach that. Ooh, alley-oop! We need the other jaws again. Let's see. There. Right where they were supposed to be. Oops, excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. There we are. Okay, this guy comes up first. Set you over there. Oh, what am I doing? I don't want to put that away. Oh, sorry about that. I guess I just blew right into the microphone. It's walking in the park, raining in the dark, and meantime, sound of the rhythm, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double four time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places. But the horns, they blowing that sound. Okay, I can bring that a little bit closer. Move the abrasive aside, the key back into its little home, and swap out for the bowl gouge. Okay. 15 to go, huh? All right. It's interesting that. Oh, I see. I thought I was off chat and I was typing numbers. Actually, I was typing to see who had joined on speech chat. I was reading those names off, and let's see. Do I want? I can turn that into like an ewer.
MAV_K14 said, "What's happening?"
Hey, man. I am just trying to figure out how I want to shape the neck of this thing, if I want to continue with that egg shape or stop it here and create a lip for a ewer, and I could actually carve a pour spout for it, which might be kind of cool. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. Okay. And then if I undercut this, I will have a spot that I can carve a little pour lip into. Do I want to do that? Or do I want to just have a beaded rim? Or do I want to have this in a complete, more closed form? That's a better curve. Because if I continue this up, right, then that whole thing will, like, when you're looking at it, as opposed to folding over. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with this shape. It's a nice beaded rim. Now, the other question is, do I want to carry that curve from the rim, or do I want to seat it right up there? Let's see. I'm not carving a spout. You can play the harp, talk like anything. Figure it up, I got it mind. With the sometimes, with the soul from the spring. Oh, that was a nice cut. You know what I think I do? I want that curve to start. Right from that bead. And we'll leave just... Oh, man, that was nice. Oh, I missed it, though. Ah, nice. Although I do have to say, I think maybe the bead should be a little bit bigger. Should it? How thin am I going to make this? That's 1/4 of an inch. I can do that. You know, something doesn't look right. Because there's a flat spot right there. That's all right, we can fix that too. All right, so I want, basically, I think, we're just gonna shout out and say that's 5 inches. It's not quite 5 inches. And that is 4. And I think I want to take it down a little bit more. So 5, 1, 2, 1.5, 1.75 would be 3, 4.75. So 1.8, 3648, 1.9, 28, 38. Okay, so about in the neighborhood. Well, let's see, 1 twist, 3 twist. If I do that, then I'll make this a 3. Going with the, what do they call it? You know, the golden proportions, whatever. Let's see how that looks. That's 3.5, so I'd have to take it down a little bit more. But I think that that's not the part that I need to take down a little bit more. And now I'm at the point where I really could, if I wanted to, I think, set up a spot where I could create a spout, which I think would be kind of lovely. I think it would be better on this side. I'd have to carve it, which is all right. So that means I got to take this down a little bit more. So there'll be a little bit of carving in the future, apparently. Yeah, let's work on this. I'm not completely satisfied with the shape because I've got a flat spot. It's looking a little bit better. At this point, I think I'm going to use this guy. Get right underneath that rim. And that will give me a good spot to carve a spout into, and then I can, and I'm going to carve it right on this side. Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. And now I'm at the point where I'm going to sand this guy, and then I'm going to cover it, and we will get back to it tomorrow evening. The first thing I'm going to do is figure out the carving and the turning the rest of that bead before I hollow it. But for now, I'm going to sand it. And then any movement that it does tonight or and into tomorrow, even though it will be wrapped, it probably will still move a little bit because we've exposed timber to the air, and now it can dry faster. Let's get this out of the way. And I mean to say that it can dry faster than it would normally, being covered up by the layers on top of it. Since it's freshly exposed, it is going to start drying, it is going to start moving. It already has started moving. It's very smooth. I It's sanding very nicely. Just look at all the, I mean, I don't know if this is translating on the camera very well. You know what? Maybe not, because this guy looks pretty dusty. Let's try that. So, all of this figure, I probably should go ahead and shoot it with a little mist of water. You could see this stuff pop. And we're also going to see that as well once it's got finish on it. So I guess I'm going full bug on this guy. Let me see where my piths are. There and there. I'm trying to, everywhere I can, sand in the direction of the grain support. That's a little bit difficult in this couple of spots, but I'm moving to a light touch now. Not that I was putting a heavy hand on it, but I was keeping it firmly, the abrasive firmly against the surface now, and just letting the surface catch it and spin the thing just enough contact. Just enough contact to get this thing to spin. And gives a really, really, really nice surface. That is like, I don't see any tool marks on there. It like looks flawless. So much figure. That's cool. All right. I don't have to turn all of the rim, just part of it. So let's sand that, and I can resand what I carve later. No hard corners all around. Yeah, that rim looks very, very nice. So the spout will go here. Could go there, but I think it's going to go there. All right, time to cover this dude up. Let me grab a bag. I will be right back. Oh, hey, I can take the mask off now. All right, so I'm just going to grab a plastic grocery bag. You do have to be careful with some of these, like the really cheap, thin ones. In my experience, tend to transfer their ink to wood. If you use those, be very careful. If it has any printing on it. If it's one of the thin, cheaper ones, my experience is those, for some reason, tend to transfer their inks onto the wood. If the bag is turned inside out or whatever, but I like to use the thicker bags. anyway, just because they're sturdier. I keep a piece of Velcro on the lathe, and there we have it. Now it's still going to dry out through the spindle, right? But not so much. It's got a small area where that's in the chuck. But the bottom of that tenon is exposed. But wrapping this for short periods of time like this, I haven't experienced any issues. Longer term, I tend to find mold, fungus, stuff like that. It grows after a couple of days. I have used this um, idea for day and a half, 2 days, and had very little issue with mold, anything like that. But anything longer than that, and it starts to, because the moisture is trapped. Mold needs moisture, some heat, and darkness in a lot of cases. And this will be covered up. There's no. Hey, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, so you don't want to leave these on too very long, and try to stay away from the thin, very cheap bags, especially if you need to turn it inside out, because that ink. And I don't know if this one would too. This is a thicker. I like these thicker bags from some of these other box stores. Um, that could even probably transfer, maybe, but I'm not putting the printing on the inside. So just be aware, especially on the thinner bags, for some reason that printing wants to come off. If it's on green wood, it'll imprint itself there. I know I'm not the only one that has happened to. And wow, is that a dusty lens or what? All right, groovy. So that wraps up this evening's broadcast, Twitch Tuesday. Thank you very much for joining me, y'all. I appreciate it. Tomorrow night I'll finish this holoform. I'll carve the pour spout if I decide that that's actually what I'm going to do, and I think it is. uh, and then finish the bead, and then I'll hollow it out with hollowing system, hollowing bar. And then we'll move on from there. So I appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much for the support. Thanks for engaging in chat, although all those of you that do and have. That always increases the metrics, or whatever the algorithms. That's it. The metrics and the algorithms for the Twitch channels and the reports that I get. It's very, very helpful to have people chatting in your chat, it turns out. So thank you very much, all of you that have engaged in that. I invite anybody they have any questions, any comments, as long as they're fairly PC. I mean, you can say what you want. I'm not gonna censor you. But I will say, if you're really rude, kind of a rude bastard, I'll block you. But I would think that anybody would probably do that, if that's all and I haven't had any issues like that at all. But I could only imagine some. It doesn't matter. I mean, to imagine anything. If I think people ought to be able to get along as best they can, and as long as you're not a rude bastard, everything's groovy. So I hope that over the time frame that I get to stream, and at least in this lifetime, whatever is happening, that the channel attracts more groovy people. Everybody has a different walk of life, and I'd like to welcome them all. But who's got time for tons of negativity? I make my own. I don't need to add more. So anyway, I very much appreciate the support. For those of you that either are lurking in the background and not engaging in chat, you're still watching the channel and having it run, and that affects the algorithm. So thank you very much. For those of you who subscribe, I very much appreciate that. Every subscription goes directly to helping improve this channel, becoming an affiliate. Although it's not that they're, it's not a lot of ad revenue. at this point, but it's a little bit, and it helps to all that stuff I'm saving up to buy better equipment as I go. So thank you very, very much. For those of you that came in late, howdy, my name's Dave. I've run over a little bit, but I do that occasionally. I stream Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I'm a wood turner, obviously. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. I found out I had a knack for it. I definitely fell in love with it. I love working with wood. But then I started teaching it too, and I fell in love with that. So I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator and a better turner, because the secret sauce is practice. There's no shortcuts. Sorry to bust your bubble if you have that thought in your head. Alas, there are no shortcuts. You must practice. Anyway, I wish you all well. I hope you all stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope to see you all tomorrow evening when we finish this holoform. And if you can't make it tomorrow evening, see you next week. Streaming, as I said, Tuesday and Wednesdays, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Hope you all stay groovy, man. Thanks again. Good night, folks.